Hello and welcome to TSG Foundation's Wisdom of the Zodiac. Today's lesson will be taken from Volume 3 of Wisdom of the Zodiac, Chapter 26, titled Scorpio, Toward Freedom. This chapter is about 7 freedoms, and if you want to really meditate on these 7 keynotes, take 7 days out of the full moon period, 3 days before, 1 day of the full moon itself, 3 days after, and take each one of these 7 seed thoughts and think about them, meditate on them. What does it mean to meditate? You close your eyes and you focus your mind on clear thinking, and you think about it step by step, and I will illustrate a little bit later when I talk about one of those seed thoughts. So let me start then by reading the opening paragraph on page 291. This is a beautiful, beautiful chapter that is going to give you an expanded and uplifted view of what is freedom, toward freedom. Every full moon is like a lift that you enter into, and it takes you by cable to the mountains. Look at the symbology behind those words. And it takes you by cable to the mountains. Okay, if you've studied esoteric wisdom, you will see a lot of symbols in those words. If you are late getting there, or not conscious of the opportunity, it goes without you, and you wait and wait, saying there is no lift today. Sometimes we miss it. Month after month, we miss that lift. There's a lot of information in this first paragraph. Let me again look at and highlight some of the words. There's a lift that takes you every full moon, and it takes you into a higher level of consciousness. What is that? It's symbolized by the mountain. The mountain, symbolically in the ageless wisdom and religious teachings, is a place where you go for clarity, to face yourself, to overcome, to get a larger, broader, higher perspective. So think of that symbology as you enter into the Scorpio full moon period. Now, if you are late in getting there, which means we are so busy with the minutiae of life that we don't think about the real important things. We are busy, busy, busy with the silly little things, our nose into our books or our smartphones or computers, and we don't really put our head up and look at life around us and see what is real. We are late, we miss the boat, or not conscious of the opportunity. What does that mean? That means we are sleeping. We are stuck in our illusions and glamours and habits and obsessive tendencies, and we just don't even see that there is an opportunity. How sad is that? It goes without you, and you wait and wait. What does that mean? Wait and wait, saying there is no lift today. What are we doing? We are laying the blame on something outside of us rather than taking our own responsibility for missing the boat, right? Sometimes we miss it. We do. We get there and we think, oh, I missed it. I was so busy with stupid things, but I will do better next time. Okay, so this is really important. Month after month, we miss that lift. Interestingly, if we keep missing that lift and looking at the reasons why we miss that lift, we will find a way around it, and we will get there at the right time next time. So even if you feel like you miss that lift month after month, never give up, keep going, because at some point you are going to get there at the right time. This is so important. What is that lift? That lift takes your consciousness to higher dimensions. We want to have higher dimensions so we can see the reality and truth in life and not live in our fears and fabrications. This is what this keynote is all about. Fears and fabrications, what? Toward freedom. Have freedom. Torkom has a beautiful CD titled Toward Freedom. Take a listen to that. It's really beautiful. It's available on CD and MP3. Let us know, and we can send it to you. It is really lovely. Now, we are told that in every full moon, a great window opens toward infinity. Wouldn't you like to have a view of infinity? I sure would. And if you continue doing meditation and observation of the full moons, it will be a real experience for you. You see, these full moons are not just to sit around and hallucinate and think we're doing wonderful, great things. No, it is for the reason of taking our consciousness to higher dimensions so we can understand what infinity is all about, what life is all about, what continuity is all about, and not be stuck to the material, fabricated part of life. Okay, you are going to go to the bottom of that second paragraph and read with me. You see the value of all that you are doing and of all that is. There's value in everything we are doing. Even if we keep missing the boat month after month, eventually we will find out why we are missing the boat, the cause behind it, and take the right solutions for it. Now let's go to page 292. A beautiful, beautiful paragraph, the first full paragraph. Many people drive their cars without direction. So the whole idea behind this full moon, behind finding what are our fears, what is freedom from fears, is to find our right direction. What is that right direction? Where do I want to go? And each of us can ask this in our full moon period of Scorpio and say, where is my direction? And what are the fears or the illusions that hold us away from that direction? Because what does it go? In the middle of the page, look at that. Illusion cannot hold me. I am a bird that flies with utter freedom. You see, fears of all these 7 kinds that I will talk about are illusions. They are mistaken ways of thinking that cloud our life, and we need to remove that illusion and that fear from our life. Everything that is in life is important. Look at the bottom of that page. But I am above all of these things. We want freedom from everything. That is how you can say illusion cannot hold you, especially your mental illusions, your fabrications, this or that. Okay, so let me talk about then about the 7 fears that are really an illusionary way to live. The first one is on page 293. The first freedom is freedom in thinking. So you are going to ask yourself, do I think freely? Or is my thinking part of obsessive compulsive behavior? Is my mind going around the same old, same old? Am I hooked into thinking that is really out of date and out of line for myself? So think about that. And did you liberate your thinking, Torkom is asking. For many years I thought I would never understand what freedom of thinking was. Okay? It was so interesting once you are able to free yourself from your own thoughts and fabrications. Every day, for example, take 1 or 2 minutes and see if you are identified with your thoughts. Are your thoughts just running wildly and you can't even stop it? You can't sit for 5 minutes and not be engulfed in your thoughts? Think how important it would be if you can free yourself in thinking. Take 1 or 2 minutes and see if you are identified with your thoughts, with your interests, with your goals. Okay, suddenly stand beyond them and look at them. Ask yourself, what are these thoughts and how can I detach myself from my own thoughts? In order to do that, you are going to sit and do a beautiful, clear meditation. Whether your eyes are open or closed, it doesn't matter. And you're going to ask yourself, what are the thoughts, the compulsive thoughts that are constantly flooding my mind? What kind of effect do they have in my life? Number 3, what is the purpose of clear thinking? Not having that fear of thinking in cloudy, muddy ways. And lastly, how do I clear up my thinking? Okay, so you are going to have freedom in thinking. That is how you meditate on that seed thought. Look at the bottom of that page. From whom are you going to be free? You are going to be free from yourself. Okay, from yourself. The idea of what you are is false, is an illusion. You are going to be free from that. That's a profound thought for us to think that if we look at ourselves in the mirror, do we see who we truly are, or is it an illusion? If you see who you truly are, that's beautiful. If you see an illusion or partial illusion, then it's time to look and say, where is my false thinking taking me? And how is that cultivating fear in me? The false thinking that creates fear. Number 2, page 294. What is the second freedom that you are going to think about? The freedom that leads you toward the lift, toward the summit, is freedom from your habits, post-hypnotic suggestions, and obsessions. Oh my goodness, do we have habits, post-hypnotic suggestions, and obsessions? We are like automatons sometimes. We go toward buying things, doing things, saying things that are automatic, that we are sorry about later. So we are going to think about that. Look at that second paragraph. Of course, the first time, these things will not be pleasant for you. It's not pleasant to think about our addictions and our obsessions. But later it will be a great pleasure for you to find out what is controlling you. What is controlling us? It is ambition, sex, food, possessions, knowledge, hatred, jealousy, revenge. What is really controlling you? When I look at the world and all the news and all the hyper emotions that people have, what is controlling them are the words that are delivered by so-called politicians and so-called leaders of our countries that put ideas in our minds that are full of fear and foreboding and ugliness. And look how we continue with those words in our conversations, in our thoughts, in our relationships with people. So it's very, very important for us to think of being free from habits, verbal habits, thinking habits, emotion habits, post-hypnotic suggestions, and obsessions, things that obsess us, keep us enslaved. Look at that bottom part of that page, the paragraph that says freedom of Scorpio, is that suddenly you feel free from those things that were controlling you. Don't look outside of yourself first. Okay, let's not blame the media and the TV and all the news. Later you will find outside things very easily. First see what's controlling you, because the hand that is controlling you within you is tied to those that are controlling you. It is so interesting. When you find the keynote in yourself, what is controlling me, obsessing me, post-hypnotic suggestions, and taking my freedom away in my habits, and then you will see how those are the very things that are expanded and exacerbated by the outside. When you control the inner mechanism, the outside you will find very easy to control. The third freedom to develop during the time of Scorpio and really cultivate within you is freedom from debts. This is really important, from debts. And you might say, I have no debts. And this is interesting to read and consider, something that all of us should really be considering. It is, you are indebted to everyone around you. When you show no gratitude, you are full of debt. So at this time, on the third day of the full moon, we are going to ask ourselves, how many things has been given or have been given to me in life by my parents, by my friends, by my colleagues, life itself, nature itself, and have I given proper gratitude, proper payback toward that? You see, during the Scorpio full moon, we are really going to see how much freedom we can get from our debts. A good meditation for this is to close your eyes for 1 hour and find out to whom you are indebted. Very, very interesting. And it says on the bottom, that's really, really important. When we are grateful for the things that have been given to us, we will experience a great healing that will come over us. Heal yourself from such wounds of ingratitude, being indebted to people. Think of being in debt physically, emotionally, spiritually, mentally, the guidance and the beauty and the love that's been given to us that we have not paid back or given back. Okay, we can't just keep taking. This is a time of giving. Okay, so let's look at number 4 on page 296. You must exercise freedom from your ego. That's an ouch. From the attitude that all must serve you and everybody owes you something. Okay, that's the same thing as being indebted. Stop thinking every moment what to take from someone else. Okay, don't exploit and take advantage of them. That is a sign that you are growing and getting fat in your ego. The bigger the ego becomes, the smaller your soul becomes. Wow. Stop thinking every moment what to take from someone else. That is the culture that we see in our Western culture and Eastern culture all over the world. People just want to take and take and take for free and they don't want to give anything back. But the real prosperity, the real abundance of your soul is to not be indebted, to always give back in some way. We're not just talking about money. We are talking in multiple ways that we receive that we need to give back and have that balance in our life. And even give more than you receive. Why not? That inner thinking of us spiritually people, especially spiritual people, sometimes think that they should just get everything for free. Every meditation is free, every book is free, every guidance is free, every instruction or counseling is free. That's not the case. You keep getting things for free and you don't give back, you are going to be what? Getting fat in your ego. Okay, so number 5. Freedom from your hypocrisy is the next one. To be free from our hypocrisy. What is hypocrisy? It's pretense. We pretend we know something that we don't, or have something that we don't have. We're hypocrites. We are not the same on the inside and on the outside. This is a really painful way to look at it and to look at our life. And it says here, this is so strange. Either we talk about it or not. Are you sometimes a hypocrite? Can you get rid of it as much as possible? Can you be real inside and outside? It doesn't mean just because you're angry inside you can just say whatever you feel like it. That's not being soul conscious. That's being pretentious and saying your ego is going to rule you. It is impossible, at least for me, to get rid of it 100%, Torkom is saying. But can you get rid of it and stand as you are with people as you are inside, not as you are in your personality? This reveals you, or takes the veils off of you and makes you a real person. So you see, another side of the Scorpio full moon is to make us real people, a real person. Let's go to the 6th day. Wow, it's getting heavy, isn't it? Page 297, number 6. The next freedom will be even more interesting. It is freedom from fear itself. You have so many fears, especially fears of sickness, old age, and death. They are so heavy that you cannot get rid of them. Find out what your fears are. Is it having no friends? Is it having no money? Is it having death, no future, not being able to see the future for you? It is, what kind of fears do you have? And it is very important to really face them at this time of the full moon of Scorpio especially. There are a lot of fears that we need to face, physical, emotional, mental, spiritual. So even if you take it one step at a time, peel away on those fears, it'll be so interesting, so important. So on the 6th day, you are going to meditate on fear and think, sit down again. First, say, what are my fears? Be very logical and sequential about it. Number 2, you can say, what are these fears doing in my life? What are they doing to me? And number 3, ask, what is the purpose of getting rid of these fears? And number 4, you are going to say, how then do I overcome these fears? You see, seed thought meditation, serious critical thinking is not difficult, but you have to do it sequentially and ask these questions. Okay, let's go to number 7, page 298. Number 7 is, this freedom is also very interesting. You must free yourself from the feeling that you cannot be somebody or something. Okay, that you cannot be. This is so important. If you start a meditation course, stick with it. If you start reading something, stick with it. If you start reading a book, doing some serious study and contemplation and cultivating your virtues and so on, stick with it. Why? Because you have to get over the fear that you cannot do it, that you cannot be something or someone. So many times people start courses, take meditation lessons, start reading a book, and then they give up. They give up after the 1st or 2nd week. Don't do that. You can overcome. That's what this is saying. You can overcome what you are right now, the laziness that you might feel, the overwhelming sense that you can't do it. You can do it. Look at the middle of this page. It's so beautiful. You can. Destroy that fear. That fear makes you something common. You become common, a common man or woman. Destroy that fear and say, I can even be the president of the United States, or beyond that. Say and think, I can be. And when you say I can be, you are going to work harder. Okay, it's not just a simple silly affirmation. You are going to say, I can be, and then you're going to take the steps. And I'm going to really emphasize that when you start working on yourself in meditation, in reading, in your spiritual discipline, have that faith inside of you that you can overcome no matter what the difficulties are. Okay, and I know some of you are probably having great difficulties right now. Maybe you've started a course of action, started studying, started reading something and becoming serious in your life, transforming your life, and you've given up. Don't give up. Take away that fear from feeling that you must. Let me read that again. You must free yourself from feeling that you cannot be somebody or something. Okay, remove that fear. There is nothing that you cannot be if you start holding that vision and running toward that vision. So it's not just important to start something, it is important to have continuity. This is really important, even if that continuity is going to take 1 minute or 5 minutes. Many times I remember many years ago when I had difficulty concentrating and studying when I started college, and I made myself sit for 5 minutes at a time, and eventually that 5 minutes became 10 minutes, 15 minutes, hours, and now I can sit for hours and read and edit and bring these beautiful teachings for you and to you because I trained myself. I made myself run and work toward that vision, and it made me a better thinker, better person, better teacher. And these are things that you can do yourself, but it takes that 1 minute of commitment. Okay, so don't give up. If you have a vision, hold on to that vision and work toward it. All right, now I'll let you read the rest on your own. There are 5 different victories and different things that you can read about. They're brief and beautiful, but these are really important teachings of being free in 7 different ways, and you can meditate on each one for 7 days. Look at this. Page 299. Let me read that for you, that bottom half. This is the way you grow. You become beautiful and you become a free person. To do these things, the most appropriate times are especially during the full moons. Why the full moons? Because certain kinds of energies are in the air. I am not saying you cannot do them every day. You can do them every day. You can. But especially when the lift is there during the full moons, like a ticket. Enter it and see how you are going over the valleys and the hills. Look at the symbology in that sentence. Then you will find yourself on the summit. That is so beautiful. And you see yourself lifting. And as you lift, yes, as you strive, as you meditate, as you study, as you start working on transforming your nature, you are going to go over hills and valleys in your life. You will dip and you will rise, but the trend is going to be rising. That's the important symbology in here. And you are going to find yourself on the summit. When you strive toward perfection, nothing will stand in your way, and everything that you want will be given to you. Isn't that beautiful? So it's not just wishing and dreaming and hoping. It is doing something about it, even if it's only 1 minute a day. Can you give 1 to 5 minutes of your 24 hours to becoming the real you that you want to be? I think so. Let's look at page 300. That is our meditation for the day, and I will read with you some of these beautiful mantras, and then I will guide you in the meditation. So when we get to that point, close your eyes and relax. If you know these mantras, say them with me and answer the questions as I ask them, and I will guide you through it. Okay? So relax now, close your eyes, and always put a nice smile on your face and just relax your face. And relax your shoulders, your head, your neck, so that you're not tense. You're just relaxed, and sit erect, but not too stiff. Okay? Take a deep breath and exhale and center yourself. And bring yourself now to that visual image of a beautiful lift coming your way. And you are going to enter that lift, and you're going to start that trend of rising toward the mountain. Okay? The hills and valleys below you, you are going to rise and you are going to reach that summit. Keep that in your visual. Take a deep breath. Feel that you are in the sphere of energy of a great constellation. Beautiful stars and constellations, you are in that energy. The energy of which is coming to you through the sun's rays. Okay? Feel that energy around you. The constellation, the sun, the energy is all around you. It is the energy of freedom or expansion of consciousness. And just have that deep sense of freedom coming your way as you are taking that cable car to the summit of the mountains. How beautiful. And say with me, lead us, O Lord, from darkness to light, from the unreal to the real, from death to immortality, from chaos to beauty. And say 3 ohms, silent or out loud. Take a deep breath. Keep the visual that you are climbing in that cable car to the highest summits, seeing the valleys and hills below you, and follow this guided meditation. Think over what I said in this hour, and what was the most important thing that resonated with you, and just recall it as you're sitting in that beautiful cable car and just seeing the beautiful nature around you. Ask yourself, can I use that one part of this lecture? And what is that I can use? If you are facing, for example, a big decision in your life, remove the fear that you can't find the solution. Have that firm faith that the answers to your questions will come in deep spiritual perception and quiet solitude of the mountains. You will find your answers. In your visualization or imagination, arrive to the mountaintop, get out and sit down under the trees, and just contemplate on this question: am I free? Yes or no, maybe, and think about that for a minute. Am I free? In what ways am I not free? How does that lack of freedom affect my life? Third question, why do I need to remove that fear from me and become free? Why do I need to become more free from these things that hold me back? Fourth question is, what are the steps that I can take to become more free from the things that hold me back? What are the steps? Say with me, staying in that beautiful, serene space on the mountain, in the beautiful mountain air. Say with firm faith, let vision come and insight. Let the future stand revealed. Let inner union demonstrate, and outer cleavages be gone. Let love prevail. Let all men love. Say 3 ohms. Open your eyes. Let me just summarize by recalling for you some of the beautiful keynotes of this chapter and the symbols that Torkom has given us in this beautiful chapter. The first one is the full moon period is like a lift that takes you toward the highest mountain. And in that process, you will experience hills and valleys, but you're looking down at them because the trend is to go toward the summit. And as you go toward the summit, you are going to think how you are removing yourself from 7 kinds of fears. And we talked about what those are: freedom in thinking and so on, changing yourself. What is another is to have the value of all that you are doing and of all that is. Have value in your life. And what is the next thing? That you are not going to blame life and everybody outside of you for missing the lift, the timing of the lift. You are going to look inside of yourself and how you are going to cultivate the very esoteric meaning of readiness, okay, of readiness. And you are going to find in that readiness that sense of direction. Where do you want to go in your life? And how do you want to get there? This is the underlying theme of this chapter, and the way you are going to get there is through overcoming your fears. Okay, thank you very much for joining me. I love these courses, and I hope you enjoy them too. It was nice to see you, and I look forward to seeing you next time. Thank you for joining me. Bye for now.